Well, Coach, just you're several years into the transfer portal now. How has your experience the previous few years informed how you go about trying to incorporate these guys in the summer?
We've had really good experience with it because I think the quality of people that we've recruited and the ones that we've, as we sit down and talk to them, we've always point blank said to them, we want you to come here for the right reason first, then we can talk about the NIL. But we have been blessed that really the last couple of years, I think our assistants have done a great job with the eval and the intel that we needed to get, and so we've been really happy with what we've been able to accomplish with it.
So Rick, how has that process gone of making sure kids are interested in Tennessee for the right reasons? Because coaches in other sports have talked about, hey, if you're coming here for the wrong reasons, we don't want you. You doing work up front, or are you finding that out during the process?
Well, I think you got to find it out there in the process. I always felt through the years there's always been a lot of transfers, even back before the quote-unquote transfer portal. And I think a lot of it came because I think that kids were told things that coaches knew weren't going to happen. I thought coaches were much responsible for that as anybody, but I think the key to all this is being honest and transparent. I think it's important they come on campus and spend time with our players, and that our players answer questions for them as well. Let the parents ask our players questions, and make it as real as you can make it and as transparent as you can make it. And I think if you do that, you can solve a lot of problems before they ever really get festered.
How helpful is it, the Dalton Connect example that you guys have to use?
Well, I think people certainly, again, we talked about transparency with him. A year ago this time, we had no idea Dalton was going to do what he did. And we're not in the, where we're comparing Dalton or saying, hey, we're expecting you to come in here and do what Dalton Connect did, because we didn't know what he was going to do. He did it. He really evolved into that. But the one thing that we will always do is not put anybody in a box when they first get here. We're going to make sure that they understand that we want to see them grow in every area, and the only way we can do that is to throw a lot at them, give them a chance to show us what all they can do, and oftentimes, more times than not, we're surprised, to be quite honest. And so that's what we want to see when we bring people in, and then from there we can build a program to where we think that what they need to do to help us right now.
What have you liked about Cade's offseason?
Cade, a lot really. I think one, he had a tremendous spring. He really did a lot in the spring, and he's one of those guys that stuck around and put a lot of time into it. And I think Cade's another example of when what you put into the game is what you get back, and he put a lot into it to improve, and in the areas that we asked him to improve. And then we were really only had 10 scholarship players throughout the summer, and he and Felix had to go against each other, and I don't even know if they got a rep off all summer, because they had to play. And looking at it right now, I think it was great for both of them. And but with that said, they really competed against each other, and both of them would take it helped them.
You said you're surprised oftentimes when the guys are coming from the transfer portal. Who or what has surprised you about this group?
I think all three of our guys this year, we obviously had a lot of confidence with them coming in, and I can say this, that none of them have disappointed us. We knew it would be an adjustment for all of them, understanding regardless of where they went, they were all three going into a new situation, and even you throw Bishop into that, being the only freshman that we signed, I mean, it was going to be totally new to them, and regardless of how long they've been in school and college and high school, that it's a different game, and the speed that we want to play with, the work ethic that we like from our players. But again, it goes back, our older guys have a lot to do with their growth by telling them, hey, this is how we do it. And we've always talked about when your older guys will really be the ones that help you through the coaching process. It makes it easier on everybody, and our older guys did a good job with that.
Who have you tried to develop maybe behind Zakai at point guard out of the options you have?
All of them. We want versatility. We want those guys to be able to handle things, because we do some different things where every guy does have a chance to handle the ball. But Jordan's played there. It's a hard position to learn. Bishop, I think, has done a good job with it, but it's difficult when you're going against Zakai Ziegler every day, because of what he does when Zakai was out those couple of weeks. It was a little bit easier for him, and when Z came back, he realized it was a whole lot harder, because he's just going to fight you for every bounce and every spot on the floor that he knows he wants to get to. He's not going to give in to it, but again, it's helped Bishop. He's realized that it's harder than he probably would imagine, but we've even used Igor there. Shaq's played every position there, and certainly Chaz has been there. So we put a lot of different guys there, and we'll keep trying to create that so we can use different guys in different situations.
What do you feel like you've learned most about this group the last couple of months?
They want to be good. They do. They work hard. It's been tough because of the lack of numbers. We've got a pretty good scout team that we've had to use, but when you've only got 10 active scholarship players and to go at each other the way we try to go at each other, and the fact that they've been competitive, they work at it, and they've had really terrific attitudes, and they want to be good. There's no doubt they want to be good, and they want to get better, and you can tell that by the fact that they put so much time of their own when they come back on their own, wanting to get better at the different things that we ask them to do.
Besides Zakai, which players on this roster do you feel the best about being able to create off the dribble?
I think a lot of them can create off the dribble. If you mean getting by people,
Yeah.
the question is, do you make the right read, the right pass? And that's up to us as coaches. We got to help them with that. We got to try to get them in as many situations. And you're not asking everybody to do that all the time, but you do want to get everybody in a position. Now so much goes into scouting with analytics. You're trying to, as much as you can, get them to know how they're going to be defended and what space on the floor is going to be available to them. And because the one thing we always talk about, if you go looking for trouble, you'll find it. And but we would like to see all of our guys be aggressive, attacking the basket. But with that said, they've got to be able to make the right read when you get there.
Two more for Coach. Coach, it doesn't seem like you've had a guy like Igor before. How can that change what you do offensively, spacing wise, to have a big like that?
Well, he's unique in the fact that he really can play a lot of different positions. He has played a lot of different positions, and he'll be a guy that will play probably all 5 positions at some point in time. And it's fun, to be honest with you, because he allows you to do some things that maybe we haven't done in the past. And he's gotten better with a lot of things. And when I think about one thing that we didn't know, he's a consistent rebounder, which we didn't know that, especially offensively. And he's very unselfish. And when you got a guy with that versatility and with a mindset that he has of being unselfish, it's fun to have, because you can just mix things up with him.
A new mix for this team, and you made it clear and set the same standard and expectations no matter what. So just this offseason, what is one thing that you saw as the highlight of development for the team as they laid the foundation to play the game?
Again, I go back to our Jemai and Zakai, and even I would put Jordan Gainey in there, letting them know what it's about and how hard it is, and how hard it is to compete at the very highest level when you want to be one of the best teams in the country, where there's no off nights, but they would tell them there's no off days when it comes to practice. And what they demand from themselves, they demand from their teammates, and so that has probably been a big highlight. We've had good leadership, and I think the fact that these guys that haven't been here came in, and if they had an ego, they put it aside, and they've been willing to learn not only from the coaches but from their teammates.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.